job, but because of our class, we're real close friends. I've been knowing Joe all of his life, all of mine, from about 4 or 5 until the present day. We entered first grade together. I didn't go to kindergarten. We entered first grade together and graduated together on time. So I want you to know that. It's going to be difficult talking about Joe because he really one of my very close, if not my closest friend, and if not the longest closest friend anyway. To the ministers of the gospel, the Reverend Brown and the bereaved family, y'all follow me along on this one. At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day. At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day. Amen. As a class, we adopted a motto during our grand homecoming years ago, and the motto was aging to perfection. All right. After some years had passed, we updated our slogan to aging still perfecting. As a class, our lives have been lived on faith because we are the class that was in the middle of segregation and integration and moving from one home spot to another. Now, y'all perhaps don't know what I mean by that. Joey's still on the west side, far west side, but they moved all those blacks from that side to the east side, or wherever they decided to go. And while we were yet friends, they moved him closer to me. Matter of fact, about 2 blocks from where I lived all of my life. So that's what I'm supposed to be. We were loved dearly at Malta High School while we were closely watched and scrutinized at Fitzgerald High School. But through it all, God watched over us, and we made it. I will always remember some of the childish and foolish things we did at adolescents and young adults. I would not mention any of those because they're not important to y'all. The things that you shouldn't have done in your young days, we probably did the same thing, but maybe did a little stronger than you, but through it all, God brought us. Amen. I will remember him telling me and asking me, boy, you know that man, don't you? And I wanted to know, are you telling me or are you asking me? So, but he did, and I remember him telling me that I've been called to preach. He was very excited, and I was confused and wondered, oh, you telling the truth? And he told it to me and Mr. and Mrs. or Reverend and Mrs. Pettigrew. Reverend and Mrs. Pettigrew has passed on, and Reverend and Mrs. Pettigrew gave him his first robe after he was ordained as a minister. Right. And they were very close friends of mine and his. As a matter of fact, they more or less raised us. He was raised without a father, I was raised without a mother, but everybody was his father, and every woman was my mother, so we made out fine. God should have. When I went to college, I told Joe, I call him Joe. And he said, why you don't call Reverend Powell? Well, I know I've been knowing him too long. He's Joe to me. Right off, right? And he told me, and he called me Baldy. I don't know why. When I went to college, I told Joe to watch my girlfriend. I came back and asked, well, what's going over there? When I went to grad school, I told Joe to watch my wife. What you say? Girlfriend had graduated from being a girlfriend and updated herself to wife. I said, watch my wife. He did a beautiful job. He never gave me a report on it. Throughout his ministry, Reverend Powell lived a life of trust and obey. There's no other way. I've had 4 or 5 of my immediate family to pass away in my adult life. And out of that 5, he eulogized 4 of them. I consider Joe from the first time, really my oldest brother died, passed first, and he did the eulogy, and that eulogy taught my heart. And then my stepmother passed, and he eulogized her. Gave another sermon, touched my heart. Then my father passed, eulogized him. Gave another eulogy, touched my heart. Then 2 or 3 years ago, my youngest brother passed, did another eulogy, touched my heart. And I tell people all the time, to me, Reverend Powell, now he done moved up now to Reverend Powell. he did some of the most beautiful eulogies I have ever heard. And you understand this right here. He married my oldest daughter. You know, he was to preach my wife's funeral. My wife told me she was crying early one morning before that. Crying. Well, I'm mad at Joe. Why you mad at Joe? He supposed to preach my funeral. And I found out this morning my brother came in from Savannah that he mad at Joe too. Why? Because he's supposed to preach my funeral. and Joe told my wife, anyway, he told me, and I heard this conversation. He told my wife, he said, I'll probably be gone way before you. And you know, I'm prophetic. And he told her, I'll probably be gone way ahead of you. And his word has come true. When Reverend Powell was installed as pastor in Ashland, Georgia, we secretly went over there and arrived just in the nick of time before the services began. And he could hardly speak. But when he looked up, and it was about 10, 12, 13 of us gathered, and we just rolled on over there, and we just popped in. All of a sudden, he knew nothing about us coming. And he got up, and he said, you know, that's the first time I ever seen him showed up. Yeah. And to this day, I couldn't tell you what he was trying to say. And I know those of you who know Joe, he's really not afraid of anything, but that was the peace and the joy in his heart to see that his classmates, you know, had forgotten. Never have. And I never will. And now that's love and joy at its finest. I had promised Reverend Powell just a few days ago that I was going to Mosley with him. That I wanted to go and see his church and be with his members over in Mosley. And he actually gave me the direction how to get to the church. He told me, he said, when you get to Mosley at the first red light, go through that first red light to the first road, take a right, and go down a couple of blocks and you'll see the church. And that's what he told me. And that's what he told me. And I told him I was going to try to get down there, preferably to hear him preach. But, you know, since I told him that, I'm going. The only reason I don't make it down there is that I'll be called before I get a chance to go. It won't be long. Come on. And I'm going to finish this up for y'all, but I know y'all tired looking at me. I'm still going, amen. I would like to thank my class, the Evidence of 1970, for supporting the Powell family today. And I see a lot of our class members here today. And we got a very special class, how we come together over the years. God has called approximately 25 of our Class B homes, class of 1970. The last 4 being Calvin Wilcox, Joe Shelton, Tyrone Walker, and Reverend Joe Foster Powell. Reverend Powell now can use the God motto, now, my good and faithful servant, perfection completed. Let the church say, perfection completed. Well done, well done, well done. Let the church say, amen.
Amen.